Yes, I know, I'm a little bit late to releasing this, but I wanted to wait for the TCB because trying to decipher the rough translations turned my brain into scrambled eggs. And I'm very glad that I did wait though, because these translations are much clearer, which meant that I could confirm a few suspicions I had without being accused of copium. Okay, that's stupid, I know I'll still be accused of copium, but whatever. So much crazy shit has happened in chapter 263, and it also seems that lots of crazy shit will continue to happen because, in true Gege fashion, we ended on another big cliffhanger. For those of you who regularly watch my videos, I'm sure you're expecting me to ramble on about Yuta being an absolute goat, and you would be absolutely correct, because that's exactly what I'm gonna do. However, I will be doing the exact same thing for Yuji and Todo, because they are all goated characters who are in my top 5, and they all also have some huge moments in this chapter. If you are a fan of at least one of these characters, then this video and this chapter should be to your liking. Even more so if you're like me and love all 3 of them. Anyway, let's just go ahead and dive right into JJK chapter 263. So the chapter actually begins with both Malevolent Shrine and Infinite Void breaking apart. Sukuna comes out looking like burnt toast and reveals that Yuta successfully launched a hollow purple. Sukuna actually seems surprised that Yuta was actually capable of that, but then tells us that Yuta using purple actually broke Infinite Void too. Apparently, Yuta's limited experience meant that he was unable to protect or preserve his barrier as a result. Now, I agree that Yuta's purple was likely way lower output than Gojo's, but strangely that's not actually stated anywhere in the chapter. It just says that his lack of experience led to the domain breaking with it. Now please do not start freaking out. Listen to what I'm saying. Yuta's purple was likely way weaker than Gojo's. I'm just pointing out how that wasn't confirmed. Since Yuta didn't outright kill Sukuna though, the angry agenda pushers immediately jumped on Yuta's ass about it, so I'm gonna quickly have to defend his ass with some facts. To be very clear, I only partake in agendas for fun, and you should be able to tell when I'm just joking around. 90% of the time, my videos are realistic and agenda free. No, that doesn't mean bias free, because literally every single person has bias, Gege included. It just means that my goal here isn't to be a complete child and push dumbass agendas. Anyway, the fact is that most people, myself included, thought that Hollow Purple was going to completely fail. Sure, it was way weaker than Gojo's, but it still completely defied our expectations. Hell, even Sukuna was shocked. But even though Yuta saved Yuji and Todo from Malevolent Shrine, outsmarted Sukuna with Inumaki's cursed speech, and successfully broke Malevolent Shrine with Purple, he still gets called a fraud. And even though Purple was likely way weaker than Gojo's, it was still enough to overpower Sukuna's domain amplification to the point where he could no longer maintain Malevolent Shrine. So that's still some serious damage. Also, don't forget that Yuta had less than a month to learn these moves, whereas it took Gojo 16 years and a beating from Papaguro just to finally learn Red. No hate to Gojo, because he's Gojo, but like, damn, Yuta. Honestly though, if it wasn't for this massive brain play by Yuta, then my goats Yuji and Todo would already be dead, so he deserves so much praise. And that's the end of my Yuta glaze. I will now be moving on with the chapter.
Are you sure about that?
However, I do want you guys to know that everything I said above is simply facts, and at this point, I don't believe people actually think he's a fraud. I fully think they just like pushing agendas, which at the end of the day doesn't really hurt anybody, so we can just let them do it. It's not that big of a deal. Losing Malevolent Shrine means that Sukuna is again unable to use his technique, so Yuji and Todo decide to jump him the second the domains failed. Yuta, however, falls to the ground. Now, it's this moment that made me want to wait for the TCB, because the rough translations were messy as fuck, so naturally everyone started drawing wild-ass conclusions about Yuta's status. Because Rika isn't taunting his Gojo form, Yuta assumed that only the Limitless technique would get burnt out and not Kenjaku's technique. But for some unexplained reason, Kenjaku's curse technique also burnt out before the 5-minute timer has even ended. Now, with the information we currently have, this makes absolutely no sense. The body swap technique burning out after domain expansion suggests that it is a constant activation curse technique, because otherwise he would still be fine. Kenjaku himself has a trick for bypassing this, which Yuta didn't know about. Cool, that sounds completely fine. What makes no sense is that if Kenjaku's curse technique is constant activation, then how the fuck was Yuta able to use that technique and Limitless at the same time? It outright states that Yuta did not know Kenjaku's trick, and it also states that 2 curse techniques cannot be used simultaneously, so how the hell is he throwing purples while maintaining body swap? It just makes no sense. I need an explanation. Ignoring that potential slip up though, I want to clear up something that people are misunderstanding and also propose a theory. It is stated that the 5-minute timer is not over yet. Yuta lost control of Gojo's body due to technique burnout. Now, many people falsely believe that curse technique burnout makes it flat out impossible for you to use your technique. That is not always the case. First off, most times characters burn out following domain expansion, Gege actually says it's very difficult to use your technique. Even in this chapter, it says it becomes painstakingly hard, not impossible. Also, after Uro expands her domain in Sendai Colony, she actually does manage to somewhat use her technique before it fails. My very trusting and reliable friend, called the Narrator, also says that Kenjaku's curse curse technique is halted. Not gone, just halted. If it was fully gone, then Yuta would be dead. The fact he is still thinking and even using jujutsu to preserve the barrier's shards mean that he has some control. My point is just that he isn't dead, and I don't think he will die like this because Gege has literally said he won't kill off characters without it having an emotional impact. Yuta dying off screen after collapsing mid-fight definitely doesn't fit that criteria. So I have created two very similar theories about how Yuta can easily survive this and even return to his original body. First off, Wee needs to swoop in and collect his body to bring it back to safety. In theory, all Yuta should need to do is recover his curse technique, and then he should regain control of Gojo's body provided it's done before the 5 minutes ends. The best way for him to do this would be to heal his burnt out curse technique. If Gojo's memories can help him with purple, then they definitely should be able to help him with that. But let's just say that he's lost access to Gojo's memories. I still think he'll be able to do it since when Gojo did it, Gege put a lot of emphasis on Yuta being the one to figure out how it works. The other theory is just that it could naturally recover in time, since we know from Sendai Colony that Yuta's curse technique recovers unusually fast following a domain expansion. Either way, if Wee grabs him and he can recover his curse technique before the 5 minutes ends, then he may be able to go back to his original body. I mean, if they didn't think that was possible or had it as part of their plan, then why did Shoko patch up Yuta's body the same way she did for Gojo? I don't necessarily think that Yuta will be fighting again anytime soon. My point is just that so far he turned up to save everyone's asses from Sukuna twice and still isn't dead yet. That is some goat shit. Okay, I know I said no more Yuta glaze, but I lied, cause fuck it. Anyway, it's Yuji and Todo's turn now. Yuji and Todo waste absolutely no time getting back to work, and thanks to the shards of Yuta's domain, there is countless things for Boogie Woogie to swap them with. Todo did get distracted by Yuta's collapse though, which let Sukuna sneak in a cheeky black flash. Now either Todo has gotten infinitely stronger, or Sukuna is genuinely weaker than Shibuya Mahito right now, because Todo brushed that shit off like it was absolutely nothing. Sukuna's attack broke the vibro slap, but Todo simply says no problem bro, and then slams that shit on his own fucking head. Yuji then completely disorients Sukuna as he constantly swaps before unleashing a new technique, a soul-splitting dismantle. By using a binding vow to limit Dismantle's target to only the barrier dividing Sukuna's soul from Megami, Yuji can now weaken the connection in a much more effective way. Also, because Yuji hadn't unlocked Shrine until this fight, it means that he likely made the vow while Yuta was clashing with Sukuna. I like to imagine that Todo actually shows him how to do it, since Todo does have experience changing the conditions of a technique via binding vows. Anyway, Sukuna starts getting hella shaky because he knows that if he keeps getting hit by Yuji, he's gonna lose. What happens next though is actually very confusing. It's unclear if it's deliberate or as a result of Yuji's attacks, but Sukuna then throws up into his own hand, and then eats it. The thing he throws up looks a lot like the little Tengen embryo thing that he ate in chapter 248. Whether this is deliberate or not though, I think there is no denying that this is Gege subtly reminding us that Tengen and the merger are still very much in play. Especially after seeing this chapter's cliffhanger, it may actually be over for Sukuna very soon. Also Megami. Megami is coming back soon. Todo then makes another swap, but neither Sukuna nor Yuji move at all. Instead, Angel actually appears in the sky, and Sukuna looks up with a look that just says, well shit. A flashback then shows us Yuta, yet again, planning literally everything as he tells Angel that she is gonna be their secret ace. Yuta explains that for some reason, sorcerers get tunnel visioned on Yuta's copied abilities, and that they dismiss the original user. Now, I genuinely love this so much because it's such a Yuta thing to notice and use as a strength. Despite being able to have any technique and being so much stronger than everyone else, he still sees how valuable his friends and other sorcerers can be. And also, it speaks volumes about Sukuna because he's now fallen for Yuta's little trick twice in a row, once with Inamaki and now with Angel. Angel then wastes no time unloading a maximum output Jacob's ladder onto Sukuna, and the chapter ends. Will Sukuna lose here? Probably not, but things are definitely starting to get way more interesting, and I think we all know that something big is coming. For now though, don't forget to like and sub, feel free to join the Discord and follow me on Twitter, links below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in a bit. Also, sorry for being late and this low-key being a lazy video, but I'm not feeling great at the moment, and just go enjoy your day. Fuck off.